Adit? Kamu ngapain di sini?
Namaku Dinda.
Saras, kalau dia mau sesuatu kan gak usah cari perhatian kayak gini.
Dia gak butuh psikiater. Yang dia butuhkan.
Menjelang di sini ada pesta. Pestanya kecil-kecilan. Datang tadi jemput, pulang tadi antar.
Mereka semua udah datang. Terus mau diapain sekarang?
At the beginning of the movie, a girl collides with a man. She notices that the man is looking strange, but she ignores and leaves. She then watches a woman crossing the road with her child in her arms. And she takes a taxi and says her name is Saraswati and she is 24 years old. She is a psychologist. She can see spirits, and this is her story. Next, we see young Saras at her grandmother's burial, where she sees her grandmother's spirit. That night she is playing with the musical box when the door to her grandma's room opens by itself. Saras goes to that room and starts talking to her grandmother's spirit in front of a mirror. Meanwhile, Saras' mother Lydia is on the phone with her husband Ron, who refuses to take responsibility for their daughters Laras and Saras. She goes to grandma's room and asks Saras what she is doing here. Saras tells her that her grandma is sad because of the necklace she had put on grandma in the morning. Lydia tells her that grandma is in heaven and asks her to have dinner. But Saras says grandma is behind her. Saras then tells that grandma was the first ghost figure she saw. Then as she started growing up, she begins seeing spirits everywhere, and it kept on increasing. She had a friend named Adit who understood her and believed in her. Now one day Saras forgets one of her books in school, and when she starts going to pick it up, Laras also asks to go with her. Saras brings her to school with her, and when she opens her locker, she hears some voice and sees that a spirit is sitting on top of the lockers. She ignores her and leaves from there. But outside also she encounters a very scary ghost, and the entire hallway is full of spirits. But she ignores them and leaves there. Then when she returns home, someone knocks on her window, and when she looks outside, all those spirits have followed her and are asking her for help. All this upsets Saras, and only then her mother comes there. She asks her mother to drive those spirits away from there. But when Lydia looks outside, she doesn't see anyone there, and she asks Saras to go to sleep. But as soon as Lydia leaves, all those spirits enter Saras' room and ask her for help. Now Saras understands that she cannot get rid of these spirits, so she learns to live with them, and now she was not even afraid of them. Then one day Adit does not come to school, and his home phone was also not reachable. Now that night someone calls her name and she sees Adit standing in her room. Suddenly his throat gets severed and Saras wakes up screaming, but she thinks it was just a nightmare. Now the next day also Adit does not come to school, and when she goes to his house was empty. His neighbors tell her that Adit and his family had gone to Bandung and never returned from there. She leaves alone to go to Adit's house in Bandung, where she sees a lot of ghostly spirits on the train. Now finally she reaches Adit's house, where she gets a vision, and finds herself inside Adit's house. She sees an old woman and her son Abel trying to steal money from the cupboard. They have kept Adel's sister Gita tied up, who calls for help, and Adel comes to that room. Abel gets scared seeing this and kills him by attacking him with a rod. When Saras regains consciousness, she finds the same old woman sitting in front of her. She says that she has come to meet Adel and asks her who she is, on which the woman says that she is made here and Adit is dead. She tells a false story that one night a thief came into the house and killed both the children. Now coming back from there, Adel's spirit tells her that Abel and Sumi were working at their house for a long time. He never thought that they would do this. He considered Sumi as her own mother, and they all used to live like a family. Saras gets upset to know all this, after which he says thanks to her and vanishes. And we come to know that Saras had informed the police about all this, and Abel and Sumi are arrested. Saras then tells that as time went by, her sensitivity continued to grow. Now she has two friends who knew about her ability and did not have any problem with it. One night when they are having dinner together, Saras sees a demon there, and here she understands that people use supernatural beings to popularize their business. That demon is in front of her at their table, but she ignores him and goes to check the kitchen of the restaurant, where she sees that the chef there is using the dirty water of his feet for cooking food. She immediately comes back and takes everyone from there. Now that night Saras asks her mother to get her a new phone, But when she says that she does not have that much money, Saras gets angry and leaves there. On the other hand, Laras is playing 𝐂𝐿𝐿 with her friends when Saras comes there and tells her that the spirits are already there, which they cannot see. Only then a spirit places its hand on Saras' shoulder, due to which she faints. Now seeing this, Laras gets very scared and calls out to her mother. When her mother comes there, Saras regains consciousness, but she was possessed by that spirit. She asks the kids why did they call her. Then she grabs Laras and starts eating rose petals from the flower pot. She tries to feed rose petals to Laras as well, and only then Saras wakes up in another world. She sees that the spirit is forcefully feeding rose petals to Laras, and then her grandmother comes there from behind. Saras hugs her, and Grandma tells her that she will have to fight her. Here their mother separates Saras from Laras, causing Saras to faint, and Grandma tells her that she will have to return to her body. Saras closes her eyes and wakes up in her body, after which she faints again. Now when she opens her eyes, she finds herself on her bed. Here Lydia feels that Saras is doing all this to get attention, on which her psychologist elder sister Rima explains to her that it is due to physical and mental stress. Lydia tells her that she will have to heal Saras, to which she says that Saras does not need a psychologist but the presence of her mother. Now the next night when Saras is in her room, she sees a girl playing on her bed, and when Laras comes to call her for dinner, Saras is possessed by the girl spirit. Seeing this, Laras gets very scared and Saras runs away from there and comes down. They see that Saras is behaving like a child and then she starts crying. Lydia tries to calm her down. However, Saras starts dancing in a strange way. Now seeing this, they all get very scared and Lydia asks her to stop. In the midst of all this, she pushes Saras, which causes her to faint. But then she gets up and tells Lydia that she must accept Saras' abilities. This talent has been in their family for generations, and they realize that it's their mother's spirit. The next day, Saras encounters a spirit in the school's library, but she tries to ignore her. The spirit tries to grab her attention and says she knows she can feel her presence, and she just wants her help. She says her name is Dinda, and that she was living a happy life with her mother. Once when it was his 17th birthday, all the kids in the school started teasing her. There was a popular student named 𝐀𝐿𝐿 in her school and everyone wanted to be 𝐀𝐿𝐿's friend, so she also wanted to be like her. She did everything to be like her. She used to do their homework too. But 𝐀𝐿𝐿 treated her very badly. One day 𝐀𝐿𝐿 told her that she had passed the test to join their group, which made her very happy. One night she is going for a night out at 𝐀𝐿𝐿's house, when her mother tries to stop her. But she argues with her and says that she is a grown-up now and knows what is right for her. Now finally she is very happy at 𝐀𝐿𝐿's house where they convince her to take off her clothes and pose. And she does this in order to become like them. Now the next day when she goes to school, all the students start laughing and teasing her. And here she comes to know that 𝐀𝐿𝐿 had put those photos on the notice board of the school. Seeing this, she realized that she had been trapped. And being saddened by this, she committed suicide. Later, Saras visits Dinda's house and says she wants to talk to her about Dinda. But Dinda's mother says she is busy. Saras tells her that Dinda's earring is still in her wardrobe, after which Dinda's mother locks the door and does not talk to her. She then sees Dinda's earrings in her wardrobe and starts crying badly remembering her. Saras then meets 𝐀𝐿𝐿 and says that she is collecting alumni testimonials. She asks her some questions which she answers happily. But when she asks her about Dinda, she becomes silent. The next day Saras returns to Dinda's house with 𝐀𝐿𝐿, where her mother gets angry at them and asks them to leave. Saras explains to her that 𝐀𝐿𝐿 has come here to apologize and says that this is Dinda's wish. She tells her all the things that Dinda had told her, due to which Dinda's mother believes her. And here Dinda's spirit talks to her through Saras and tells her that she is happy to have a mother like her. She apologizes to her that she left her alone like this. What happened to her was an accident and it was not anyone's fault. That day, while removing those photos from the notice board, her hand was cut. 𝐀𝐿𝐿 apologizes, and Dinda's mother forgives her. Now one day Saras and her friends are watching a horror movie where there are many other spirits with them. Then Irina's phone rings and she goes out to attend the call. Here Saras gets a vision in which she sees Irina's accident. Irina returns and tells them that her boyfriend will pick her up after the movie, to which Saras says that she should not go out tonight. Now later, when Saras is at her home, she again gets the same vision, which worries her a lot. She calls Irina and asks her if she is alright, to which she says that Dwy is dropping her home in his car. Saras is relieved to hear this, but we see that Dwy's car has broken down and he calls one of his friends there for help. Saras again has a vision in which she sees Dwight and Irina on a motorcycle and they have met with an accident. She again calls Irina, who is actually going on a motorcycle with Dwight, and Saras gets worried knowing this. She immediately starts going to help her, but Lydia comes there and stops her from going. Saras tries to explain to her, but her mother does not listen to her and asks her to go to her room. After she leaves, Laras helps her to leave the house, but she says that she will also go with her. Now both of them leave on their motorcycle to help Irina, but they meet with an accident on the way. After some time, when Saras regains consciousness, she sees that Laras is lying injured some distance away. Saras rushes to her and asks people for help, but Laras dies in her arms. Now after the burial of Laras, Lydia asks Saras if she is satisfied after killing her sister, to which Saras says that Laras went with her that night because she couldn't stand being under the same roof as her. Lydia gets very angry hearing this, but Saras says it is all her fault as she never expressed her love to them. On this, Lydia slaps her and says that from today she is not her daughter. Now later, Rima comes to her room and tells her that one of her aunts, Rita, was also born with the same abilities, but unfortunately, she could not control it. Rita was very close to her mother, but one day she was found dead, and it was a suicide. Her mother felt she had failed to protect Rita, and she doesn't want that to happen to her. The next day, Rima takes her with her, and Saras tells that it has been 7 years now she is in abroad, and since then she has not spoken to her mother. After 7 years, she comes back to her house and tells that nothing has changed in this house for 7 years, including her mother. She then tells that she is more mature in seeing life from 2 points of view. We cannot avoid the fact that we live side by side with those who cannot be seen. All her experiences interacting with the spirits have made her a good listener, and able to understand human nature, which cannot be predicted. One night when she comes home, she sees that her mother has named her company after her, which she really likes. Now the next day, when Saras is sitting in a cafe, her mother calls her and asks her when she is coming home. Saras apologizes to her mother, on which her mother gets emotional and asks her to come home soon. Saras immediately leaves for home and her mother makes pancakes for her. Here Saras bumps into a man on the way and finds something strange with that man, soon after which there is a blast there. Now it is told in the news that once again a bomb has exploded in Jakarta. Lydia gets upset seeing this news and calls Saras, but she does not pick up the call. And here Saras tells that she passed away at the age of 24. She once lived life as a human, and their existence here is not to scare the world. They each have a story, and this was her story. She reaches her home and tells that today is the 40th day after her death, the last day she can see them. She goes to her mom and hugs her and they both cry. And Saras tells that those who have passed away never leave us, cannot be heard, cannot be seen, but are always together. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon never to miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.